this video, you're going to learn all about Mike Watkin's video marketing strategy. What's so good about video marketing?
Video marketing, for me, the benefits of it above and beyond other types of marketing in digital, like images or text and things like that, is just the amount of content and messaging you can squeeze into, say, 15 or 30 seconds. It's an incredibly efficient way to get a message across for a brand.
And for those watching who might not be familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about who you are, your story.
Went travelling when I was younger, out of high school, started a startup, sold that 2 years later. It was a travel startup. Moved to Sydney, went to start another travel startup. That sort of went haywire, as startups tend to do. But through that, gained a lot of contacts within the travel industry and started consulting about 6 or 7 years ago in social. From there, managed to build a business called Muto Media over the past 6 years, focusing heavily on solving companies' issues with social media marketing, digital marketing, EDMs, that sort of stuff.
And tell us a little bit about why you got started with video.
Like I said before, if you had asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have said production costs are too high, people don't view video that much, they don't engage with it as heavily as other sort of content vehicles on social, with the cost of video production just dramatically lowering, and big social platforms like Facebook really embracing video, especially on mobile. The benefits are obvious now.
And tell us a little bit about what's been working for you with videos recently.
Paid media. You can't. I'm sick and tired of people telling me, create good content and people will watch it on your page or through your blog or whatever. It's just simply not true anymore. The market's too saturated, so you need to have a really smart paid media strategy behind your video strategy. And if you combine the two together really well, really nicely and nice and tightly, you can start generating some amazing results back because you're driving a whole heap of traffic towards this video content. Establish what your paid media strategy is going to be. Put budget aside for paid media. Don't dump it all onto video and just pray that people will come and watch it, because they won't.
You were telling me before about a really cool case study. Would you like to sort of share the sort of results you have been able to get recently? Yeah,
well, one client we've got at the moment is a government body, and they weren't too sure where to take this platform that they'd built. It's a video platform, and they still have an amazing team of producers, like a production team, create really award-winning content, but they just were not using them as efficiently as they could. What we've done is managed to build things like content rosters, which enable transparency across the entire team to see what videos are going to, fall within which days, for example, what type of category those videos will fall into. It involves bucketing out content, so you've got gold, bronze, and silver content. So gold content is going to be exclusive and going to drive a lot of views and be really, really interesting. What we've managed to do is basically turn that around to a point where we've increased video views for that channel by 600%. And like I said before, the paid media is an incredibly crucial part of the mix. Paid media is one thing. I also think, based on what I'm learning with this project and what I've done in the past, if you think really smartly around content syndication partners, so work with other brands or businesses that are within your industry vertical that want to feature either within your videos or have ads played around your videos. And that ends up being a really powerful earned media strategy.
So paid media is phase one of the approach, and earned media is phase two?
Correct. In order for people to get confidence in your platform and see it as something viable to advertise on, you need numbers. And the only way you're going to get that is by putting paid media behind it to grow those numbers. As soon as you've grown the numbers, you're going to get advertisers knocking on your door, or you're going to get content partners, or syndication partners, more willing to take your content and share it.
So we've got a lot of what has worked and a lot of good sort of stats and that sort of thing. What about stuff that hasn't worked? What would you do again if you could, if you had a time machine?
I'll just preface it by saying things are not going to work first and foremost initially, and that's a good thing because you want to see what doesn't work, because that's going to tell you what does work. So when you see the things that don't work, I think they're more important to analyse and look at and really dig into than the things that do, because you'll start to see what people don't want, and then if you create less of that and more of the things they do want, over time you're going to generate more views. I would say length now is a really big issue. we're still, with a lot of larger media agencies and content creators, they're still sticking in sort of 90-second video land, which is, I know what you guys do, which is probably as far as we'd go. So you're looking at content that's 3 minutes, 5 minutes long, which is still getting pushed out. I see a lot of it still. It's just too long now. People are so time poor. They do not have the time to invest in a piece of content that long. And what doesn't work, it's length, and then not having a strategy around content creation, not having a content roster, and not having one document or one piece of paper that shows everyone within the key team what's happening or what's coming up over the next month, fortnight or week, can be really, it's going to hold up a lot of things.
And if there are brands out there watching this video who are wondering, what's the best way to get started, what's the biggest piece of advice you could give to them?
Find out it's just the normal stuff. Find out what your point of difference is. Like if you're in a saturated market, try and find content topics that are not talked about but are relevant and interesting. Have the content rosters in play. Have the media strategy in play. Make sure you act on the insights you're getting from the analytics. That's essentially your teacher. That's going to tell you where to head next. It's going to give you direction into what type of content you need to start producing more of. One thing that annoys me is timeliness. A lot of people, again, are still stuck in old school ad land where they think something has to be really polished, whereas exclusivity now overrides that. Anyone can take video of something and get it up online straight away, and if they're the first to it and first to get it out, they're going to be the one that takes the cake and gets all the views.
Hey, great response, and thank you so much for your time as well. If there's people watching who do want to find out a little bit more about Mike Watkins, where can they go?
Just buy MikeWatkins.com. BYMIKEWATKINS. I've had trouble with that before. .com. BuyMikeWatkins.com.
Fantastic. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for your time. And all the best.
No worries. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, guys.